Hello, whiskey friends, and welcome back to the Drop a Poker Chick. Hello, whiskey friends, and welcome back to the United Kingdom. It's been a minute. So, Kentucky, Tennessee, massive trip has been completed. Absolutely amazing. I'll be kind of working to pump out a bunch of videos about that shortly. I'll probably try and do them in this order. Firstly, kind of an overview of the trip and some of the shops that we went into, just to keep that as up to date as possible. A video that will cover off the initial thoughts of all of the different kind of tours that we did and the distillery sites, and kind of what we loved and what we kind of like, no, I may say didn't love because that's not really the right word. So like the pros of them, and then like where they didn't have things that other sites may have had that kind of gave the other ones a leg up in terms of like why we liked some more than others. Because they were all very enjoyable and they all have positives in their own right. So I want to talk about the focus. Plus we didn't do everything on all of them, so there's also that. We'll cover off what is all around me right now, which is a swag and all of the stuff that I bought. That will be in this video, just kind of like while I chat and talk through a little bit of it. And then after that, I'm going to do a kind of a short form on each of the distilleries. That will be kind of like 5 minutes, 10 minutes on just the kind of the key thoughts on that distillery. And then a long form of some of the distillery tours, which will be most of the tour. So you kind of like get to take the whole tour along with us. We did film a lot of them, kind of a large chunk of it, and got the kind of okay with the distilleries to do that. And you'll see for the most part, even the, I've got the little mic here, the guides were very happy to actually even like wear the mic. So hopefully we'll be able to get some more clear audio there than if it was just off me straight carrying the camera around. And with those, I'll caveat and say, do not watch them if you plan on going to the distillery, because they will be full of spoilers and they will ruin your kind of your joy of experiencing that distillery for the first time. But if you're not ever going to make it to that distillery and you want to get that information, then that's going to be a way for you to kind of watch that and kind of find out about the distillery that way. Because for some of us, they're a little bit far away to get to. So, where to start? I have so much stuff around me and in front of me and behind me, which I'm sure you'll work out. That will be a whole other video, so you have to wait for that. But let's talk about one of the coolest things that we got on this trip. If I can get it out of its little packet here. And it was a bit of an experience, and it was kind of at our midpoint. But it definitely was such a unique experience. A little bit different to what we thought, but I'll cover that off later. But that is the Evan Williams Bourbon Boot Camp Challenge coin. It also came with a certificate, which I have in here. And this just kind of says that we completed the Bourbon Boot Camp, and that will find a nice spot up on the wall somewhere later. What is really cool about that is it's basically kind of captured the midpoint of our tour where we'd already learned a lot. My wife particularly had kind of gathered a bunch of bourbon experience. We got to do that, and then we got this kind of like a really cool challenge coin swag at the end, just as a kind of cute little commemorative thing, and the only way you can get it is to do it, and it's obviously DSP KY1, so that just adds like a little bit of an extra cool factor to it. Again, a lot of people don't really care about things like challenge coins, but for me, like that's, you know, can make for a really great poker chip or marker. And just something nice just to sit up on the bar as a, again, conversation piece to link back to that and this and the trip as a whole. Now, speaking of poker chips, we've got a bunch of them. But not everywhere seems to do them anymore. Some had them for different reasons. Some are selling them, which kind of sucked. But in Tennessee, if you go into the store, you can get and ask them for if they do like the challenge chips or the tokens. You'll see here, this is Nearest Greens chip, which we have a couple of. The Jack Daniel's Distillery poker chip. So you could kind of get those in Kentucky by going to that distillery. Now, actually, we forgot to ask at Logstill, so whoops. But some of the other ones had them, or you could purchase them for whatever reason. So we also have the Stitzelweller poker chip. You can see here the Blade and Bow poker chip. The Evan Williams Bourbon Experience, which has got its own double-sided element to it. The Heaven Hill / Elijah Craig, oops, this way around, poker chip. Cask X poker chip. Now, this one's a little bit different. You could spin this, use this to pay to spin a wheel for a shot. And we decided not to spin the wheel, but to keep the poker chip for a pour. And then you have like the Great Goat on the Whiskey Thief Distilling Company, which we have 2 of. And then some other places had some other kind of like different chips. Oh, we also have the Heaven Hill Larceny one here. There may be some others that I've missed kicking around. And then Castle and Key as well. This is actually redeemable for a drink. Again, we chose to keep this small little wooden token instead of getting the drink. One, because I had to drive, so I couldn't do all the drinks and all the drinking, but we wanted to keep this as a memento to go on a memento kind of memory board thing that I'll build out. And we wanted to have something from that instead. So obviously we got 2 of these boot camp poker chips because I did it and my wife did it. We picked up a 2025 Buffalo Trace medallion. That will look very similar to the ones I've got here, which is from the Covent Garden store. This is from the Buffalo Trace store, and it's different. It kind of like says like it's the main distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky store there. So you can get one of these also in Paris, we've learned. So got that as well. Excuse me. Got some little Green River coins that you got for like sliding. If you've ever seen like on YouTube or kind of clips, you can slide like the Green River coins, and there's a little horseshoe at the base of a Green River bottle. If I have one handy up here. There's like a little lucky horseshoe at the bottom, and that fits kind of through just a little bit of wiggle room, so you can slide that underneath, and if you did get it, then you kind of like got a little bit of Green River swag or a coin or something. So we did that a couple of times throughout the festival and got some swag there. We got a bunch of Four Roses pins. So some of this stuff I will kind of be giving away. You know, if I'm sending out gifts or samples or anything like that, I'm just going to be throwing in some little bits of this swag that, you know, I don't need all of it. So if I've got one for myself, I'll probably like throw these in. Same, we got a few pins from Peerless here. We got a 230 years Jim Beam pin there. That one I'll be keeping. Because obviously some of these we did have to pay for. Again, another Frankfort, Kentucky distillery for Buffalo Trace. We got the couple of Starlight Distillery pins. Another Four Roses pin. A Wilderness Trail pin. There's another one, another Four Roses pin. So you get the idea, another Four Roses pin. Four Roses are great with their swag, I have to say. And that's, this is a Starlight Distillery. The Mizunara oak kind of sits on the bottle cap, but it had been offered for transport. We didn't want it bouncing around, so I'll return that to its bottle. Bardstown pin and a bunch of pens, New Riff, Four Roses again, and Jim Beam. And when I say like Four Roses were like big on all their swag, as I said, they were so much. We played like a little claw game, got a Four Roses hat, again, Cask X hat. So got quite a bit of stuff from them. A couple of sunglasses from New Riff. A couple of sunglasses from Four Roses. As I said, Four Roses, amazing with their swag stuff because it still keeps going. Little Four Roses Cozzy. This little fan thing, now, I don't know if this is going to be Four Roses or not. I'm going to guess it is. I can't remember where this one was from. Oh, look. It is. Who would have thought? Am I ever going to be able to close that again? I have no idea. It was hot, so these things people were running around with everywhere during the festival. But a lot of these things, you just got them by, like, winning like little mini games or doing the claw game or just like hanging around and they gave them to you. I don't think we even bought like for the most of those. A couple of the pins and stuff we bought, and this is where it's nice. Like some places will just give you swag, and then some places you have to like win a little competition for it, and then other places they didn't do anything, and then if we wanted swag from them, we had to buy it. So that's for the most part that. Now, Maker's Mark, we did pick up a couple of these little bottle stoppers. Really cool. We actually found these in a liquor store. These were, I think, about $4. So they were really cool. Same as a few just like general bottle stoppers that nobody really will care about, those wine ones there. So that's kind of like the small swag. Now let's talk about glassware. Now, glassware was really interesting because, again, some places gave you glassware, other places didn't, or you had to buy it. And that was kind of an interesting divide, I guess, between a couple of them. Kentucky Bourbon Festival, we got 2 mini bottles, mini Glen cans, and they do have a Bardstown logo on the back of them. Now, you only got one for the festival, which we kind of didn't realize, so we had ours put away the first for the second day, and then had to go and find them again because we thought we could just go back and get a new glass for the next day, as most festivals do. But you only get one, so you got to remember to keep it. And they had like the little like lanyards that you could put your little Glencairn taster on. They were like $15. They weren't giving any away anywhere. So yeah, that was a no from us for grabbing one of those. So if you find one of those, definitely get it. So then some places would give you a glass kind of as part of your tasting. So for example, these really cool green limestone branch glasses, we have 2 of them. These were water glasses that just came as part of the tasting that we did in the tour at Limestone Branch. That's amazing. Yet most places didn't do that. Wild Turkey. Now, we didn't do a tour at Wild Turkey, but we did stop by and we bought a drink. And if you buy a drink, you get the glass from Wild Turkey or the shot glass if it was a pour. So when we bought a couple of drinks at Wild Turkey, we got the pours. Funnily enough, we did buy some of these little Woodford Reserve tasting glasses because they just look different and they're quite interesting. But Woodford Reserve, they actually say, do not steal our glasses. We know they're really cute. Go buy one from the gift shop, which we did. But they won't give you a glass. So again, slight difference in the different places. Jack Daniels, a couple of little Jack Daniels shot glasses. Now we got these as a free gift for spending basically money in the hardware store in town. They have different stuff, and that just happened to be what we got for that. I think that covers off, Starlight Distillery, sorry, before I do them dirty. Starlight Distillery, 2 Glencairn glasses we got as part of our tasting tour. End of the tour, keep your glasses. And Jim Beam, when I went to their dinner, that was also at the end of the dinner, keep your glass. So quite a few of that. I did pick up a Stitzer-Weller glass. Originally, I actually bought this before I even went on the trip because I was originally going to collect a Glencairn from everywhere. And I bought that some time ago. But then I found out through all of the glasses I have back on my shelf These rub off once they're going like washed a few times and they start to kind of deteriorate and go away. So the lovely glass that you had tends to kind of become no more. Now, there were some places that we've seen, and I'm just trying to think of one, that they are kind of like etched in. The Starlight one feels like it might be etched in a little bit, so it's actually like deeply engraved rather than printing on. And I'll be interested to see if that is the case and like keeps those around. But certainly there was a mix of some stuff being printed on versus some stuff being engraved. And I wouldn't buy the printed on ones. I would just go for the engraved ones. I also picked up a Maker's Mark. This is kind of the opposite of the Glencairn. So talk about a little bit of different glassware here that we picked up. A Bardstown and a Maker's Mark Ambassador glass for the basically the Kentucky Glencairn, or the tasting nosing glass. So I just want to see how these go to smell and taste out of different glasses in the future and types of glasses. So I picked up some of those. I also did the same for this really cool tall glass, which is basically looks very similar to a Glencairn, but you can see it's got a much fatter base and just an ever so slightly larger top. So I'm very interested to see how this will go for nosing and letting some of those aromas out as a nosing glass, and a little short, kind of stubby. I wish it was on a bit more of a stand, just so that it didn't like warm the bottom of the glass with your fingers so much. But that's a really cool kind of fat buttered glass. So I did actually buy 2 of those because I thought if I break one, I'll be really upset. So I needed a backup. We then also seen this one at Wilderness Trail, which again, similar vibe, really fat bottom, really fat top. So I don't know why it needs to be that fat, but again, very curious as to what the difference is on all of the different glass types. We're still going, still on glassware. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff, but here it is. Then Maker's Mark they don't normally sell these in the shop, although they did have some Cholula different colored ones that we didn't pick up. Maker's Mark dipped glass. So, I mean, that just looks cool. It's going to look amazing on the bar, kind of beside all of the Maker's Mark bottles. So I wasn't sure if I wanted this Maker's Mark logo on it upside down, so when you keep it upside down to kind of prevent the dust, that it still looks like the Maker's Mark drip, or if it just looks really cool this way, which it does. So it's hard to say. We picked up with us a few small, like you see, like Maker's Mark kind of like aluminum cocktail tins that was part of the festival. And when we're out at Bardstown, as part of their kind of holiday vibes party, they had a tiki bar and they had these Bardstown cups that we were told that you got to keep them as part of your tasting. So we didn't steal them. They said that we could take them. We did ask like 3 people because we didn't believe that was going to be the case and we didn't want to steal their glasses, but they said, no, you get to keep them. It's a souvenir. So that's cool. We get to keep these kind of Bardstown tikis. So that's real nice. Picked up a nice kind of like bullet ceramic kind of coffee cup. When we were out at the barrel rolling, got thrown a Evan Williams apple kind of drinking flask. So that was just fun little like freebie just kind of given out in the crowd. When we were at Stitzuela, I did get a 5 key cup with barrel roll on it, just as a bit of a commemorative thing. And we were worried about alcohol volume a little bit, so we couldn't buy stuff everywhere and had to do a whole range of help to get some stuff kind of brought over and all the rest of it. But I did pick up the Green River old style decanter. Now it is empty, unfortunately, so not everything got kind of filled with all of the alcohol. I wish I would have loved to have filled that, but couldn't do it. I think that pretty much takes care of glassware. A few distilleries had these cool like aluminum water bottles. We kept this one from Makers just because we thought it was like really cool, again, aluminum. They cost like $4 or $5, but they say that they are reusable as a nice kind of like aluminum water bottle. So that's nice. We dented this one already. So they're kind of like, I'm going to call them like, it says refillable. They're going to be like semi-permanent, semi-consistent. Okay, so other random fun things that we got. A couple pairs of socks, because why not? You know, as you do. Nice little Buffalo Trace socks and some Woodford Reserve socks. I didn't love a lot of the sock choices that were around the place. Plus, I didn't need that many. Set of Uncle Nearest playing cards. We picked this up as the first distillery that we went to because we realized we forgot to bring cards on the trip and we needed some playing cards. So we just basically picked them up from the first place that we've seen. We've got a whole bunch of Liper's Fork, Green River, and Jim Beam coasters. So they're kind of cool. Now, this I really love. This is a hand-stitched kind of keychain, and you'll see like you can see like Four Roses and Maker's Mark and Blandon's and Jack Daniels and E.H. Taylor, kind of made out Woodford there on the stitching. You could also get a belt with the same kind of stuff on it out there. It's like $175 or something, so that was a little bit rich for my blood, but this was a little bit more affordable, so I got this based on how much I just kind of like loved that for just as a kind of keychain element. And yeah, let's go into the other empty bottle that I've brought home. Why am I bringing home empty glassware? I don't know. Well, I do know, it's because it's really cool. This is a Cathedral French Oak. We finished and killed this bottle that we found at Justin's House of Bourbon. Spoiler. But it's already on the Insta, so. But really, I mean, nice to have this bottle to like add to kind of my bottle collection of empties as I go through, because I prefer to keep the empty bottle of all the different types and maybe make them into a candle or something, or a glass, as opposed to just keep them full so everything gets drunk. Then we got a whole bunch of dog stuff because, you know, if you know us, we've got a dog. Might have been able to hear her scratching at the door before. So we looked at a whole bunch of dog stuff throughout the trip, and we did get her a whole bunch. They're really quite expensive. They're about $20 every time you got a dog toy, which is quite expensive considering that they're going to last about 10 minutes for some of it with her. But we got this kind of cool Buffalo Trace bottle. We got from Bucky's this kind of dog toy rope things. Rope things tend to last a little bit longer with her, so I'm sure that she will survive a little bit longer than that. We just got her this cool little like rope ball, which again I think will last. I think we got this one from Larrikin. Again, they've got distillery dogs there, so they quite like that. This one was really cute. Our dog Willow, she really likes kind of to dig into, like pull things out of. So we got this like little buffalo that comes inside a little barrel. I don't know how long this is going to last, to be honest, but it is super cute, and if it lasts 5 minutes, it lasts 5 minutes. But I mean, that is cool and that is cute. Hopefully it lasts a little bit longer with her like digging it out and being satisfied, and she doesn't destroy the barrel. And she'll probably destroy this little flat part, and then she'll just dig things out of the barrel in the future. We did also bring her in some sweet potato and honey dog treats from Buffalo Trace. I mean, they're just dog treats really, but why not? It's cute. I think that's it from like dog stuff. I picked up a couple of pillows. That is plenty. Got a few books on the trip. So Beam Straight Up is Fred's book. So signed when we met him. He was very nice enough to kind of sign that. So we'll be giving that a read. Everyone has said that it's quite good, quite funny. And then one of the greatest tour guides that we met while we were out there, Paul Bissett, also kind of personal message and a sign there from Paul. He's actually was out at Liper's Fork. He's a Scottish guy and has basically been around whiskey everywhere, written a bunch of these books. This is on kind of tour guides, so I think it's going to be a really good, interesting read to gain a lot of the information around some of the different tours that I'm doing. It may also be really helpful when I need to kind of get some information or fact check myself on some of the videos. I then have picked up an aged and ore Bardstown bottle flight. I wanted to do a comparison of this against the, you'll see me smelling it, because the knockoff version that has appeared in the UK really stinks. So I'm just smelling this to see if it has that same toxic smell, and it doesn't, to be honest. There's a slight smell if you get kind of close enough, but it doesn't have that same smell. I'll do a kind of a side-by-side look at those later, but these are the aged and ore ones. Yeah, they're definitely not coming out of the same factory as my first glance. But let's have a proper look at those kind of like down the road and do a bit of a side-by-side comparison from a quality perspective. Are you still with me? Because this, trust me, this is a lot. I had to bring all this upstairs. I still don't know what I'm doing with it, and we haven't even touched on any of that stuff, so that's why that'll be another video. Personally, I'm not much of a huge smoker, but I know a few guys that are and do like a good old tote on the old cigar. So when I found some Buffalo Trace cigars, that's the little humidifier pack to keep it all nice and good. I bought a box of the Buffalo Trace cigars, just so that, again, for the guys out and around the place here in the UK, if they're looking to give a cigar a try, we're going to a kind of a tasting or a bottle share or something, I can bring one or two of those along just for them if they are interested in having a bit of a smoke, something that you can't really get in the UK. Don't know how good they're going to be. Reviews on that will be outstanding. But in the same vein of that, oh, by the way, I got this. I thought it was a bourbon tasting game, board game. That's what it says, right? Like, it looks, it's in a board game box. I thought it was going to be a board game. I love board games. It was not a board game. It was a bunch of like fruits and dried nuts and stuff. It was a disaster. But very well wrapped up and protected in here. I also have, if I can eventually get to them, some Blanton's cigars, and there are 4 different types. I don't know if there's specific cigars are different types or they're just different labels and it's the same cigar, or they do look like they're slightly different in color, but I did pick up the 4 different Blanton's cigar options. Again, not a cigar guy, but they come in that glass bottle with little horse on top. They make a very nice bar piece at the very least, even after the cigar is gone. And oh, this was another cigar that somebody gave me, a Sweet Jane, whilst we were at the Bardstown one. I said I don't smoke cigars. I said gift someone that does. So thank you very much for giving me that. And I will find somebody to give that to. I don't know how good of a cigar it is either. It could be a cheap cigar. It could be an expensive cigar. I don't know. Who could say? So, almost done. Half an hour in. Can you imagine how long the actual tour and video and all the rest of this is going to be? It's going to be long. But let's talk bar mats. Here is something, and this isn't going to be even all of them because there's some still coming in freight from Buffalo Trace. I did also get a couple of big Buffalo Trace barrel heads, but that's all getting posted. So, Woodford Reserve, Evan Williams, Blade and Bow, Larceny, and you can tell me, who do you think has the coolest one? Old Fitz, got the blue Heaven and Hill, Heaven in Hill? Heaven Hill. Angel's Envy, quite a nice colour actually. The Elijah Craig. Good old Chicken Cock Whiskey. Is it Liper's Fork? Now, is it limestone branch with the 3 different brands on it? Wild turkey. Is it Huber's Starlight? Is it Basil Hayden? New Riff. The Purple Larrikin. Green River. Wilderness Trail. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Jim Beam. People are good too. Bardstown. Castle and Key. Good old Maker's Mark. Lux Row, and all the brands that come under that. Knob Creek, or the classic Jack Daniels. So, that is a whole lot of rubber. And I'm still trying to work out, am I going to put this up on a wall and kind of like mount it and then pull them off if I kind of want them? Do I want to run them along the base of the bar mats here? So I still have to work out exactly where I'm going to put most of this stuff. I'm going to have to rejig the bar a little bit, I think, behind me. But that pretty much covers... There was a couple of t-shirts actually that aren't included in here. I got a shirt from Buffalo Trace and a shirt from New Riff that shows all the distilling process on it, which is really, really cool. So, super long video. Doesn't tell you too much about all of the stuff that's still to come, but gives you a sense of a lot of the places that we've gone to and done, and just how much swag we've come back with and like extra stuff that it was so easy to accumulate as we were going around going, oh, look at this, and you grab it and you grab it. And it's very surprising just how quickly all of that stuff accumulates. So fortunately we had some ways to get everything back. Yeah, so that was kind of a little bit less stressful, although a little pricey. But it was all a mission. So yeah, I mean, that's it for me. I mean, stay touched. It will take a while to get all of these video edits out. This one's just a like half-hour kind of blast through of the stuff that we bought, because I know people are interested in like, what did you get? All the bottles, I mean, give you a look behind me, you can see a bunch of the stuff that's mostly made its way over. I think there's still a couple bits still coming. Yeah, as I said, like a bunch of stuff's been posted and sent and stuff like that. So some stuff beat us here, some stuff we bought, some stuff is on its way. So I'll do the final update on all the bottles once kind of everything's around. But yeah, there it is. Kentucky and Tennessee. Stay tuned, step to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.